Adobe Acrobat, your new foundation. Use PDF spaces to generate a presentation. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch, gets it in a groove. Choose a template with your timeless cool. Come on now, let's flex those tools. Draft, design, deliver, make it sing. AI builds the deck so you can build that thing. Do that, do that, do that with Acrobat.
Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-Acrobat.
What up? It's interview style. Hey, Iris, if you were stuck in a room with a couch, a dark room with locked doors, and you had to put on a movie that was on repeat for 24 hours straight, you can go to the bathroom and stuff, but do you think if you could choose that movie, would it be your favorite movie that you can watch over and over again? Would it be something new, so at least there's something like it's an additive experience to your life, like something positive? Because what if it's bad? Or would it be something you could tune out? Like, I don't know, the Train Dreams, you could tune it out. But it was one of those serene, kind of beautiful movies where nothing has to be happening at every single moment. Or would you want it to be engaging to make the time fly? Something like The Big Short, which is layered and has a large cast of characters who are pretty much on all the time. There's a lot going on in movies like The Big Short. Would it be something upbeat and fun that's engaging that you would, be excited to watch? Or would it be intense, like you would be drawn in and your attention diverted for hopefully most of the 24 hours? What kind of movie, or is there a movie in particular that you would choose?
Boogie Nights.
Wow.
Maybe not Boogie Nights specifically, but it would definitely need to be a well-made movie, which amazingly Boogie Nights is. And I say amazingly because P.T. Anderson was 27 when he made that movie. It's absolutely insane. And was like, I'm going to make this sprawling period dramatic thing that's really raunchy and about porn, but not porn. And it's really well done. And it's got engaging characters. And like you had said about The Big Short, a layered plot, a layered storyline, characters who each have a lot going on, not to mention their collective dynamics. A movie that would give me food for thought, because this is a movie I'm going to have to watch for like a long time, over and over again.
For 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours. That's easy.
And yet surprising. I would not have picked Boogie Nights for you, which, make no mistake, is a great movie and one that has all kinds of intricacies. One concern I will express about that choice is, once upon a time, I was a producer for a show in which characters had notable disabilities. And I was so involved in the minutia of those shows, all the interviews, all the B-roll, these weird extended scenes, that I started to feel over time like I possessed those disabilities. Does that make any sense to you at all?
It was like a transference?
I lived in the world of these people for so long, all day, that I started to feel like their limitations were mine, and I lost kind of all sense of perspective. Would you sink into a spoiler kind of drug-filled haze of paranoia if you were to watch Boogie Nights over and over and over again? Because it seems to me like that's on par with what I wouldn't have chosen. I don't know what my movie would be.
You got to choose one. Choose something.
But probably the closest would be The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which I did nearly watch in seclusion for 24 hours straight. Because that movie's, 6 hours long? 6, 12, 18? I watched it 3 times in a row, back to back to back. But I was in a very wintry place. It was a dark, cold time. And that's kind of what I'm now equating this experience to being like. Whatever you choose will change the person you are, at least for the duration.
It probably will. And in a weird way, I think Boogie Nights is oddly triumphant. But it is definitely one of those films that feels so outside of my world, my experience. Like I can feel, those movies where everything is so messed up and you're like, my life ain't so bad kind of a situation.
I think that catharsis is unique to people like us, where we look to movies that are horrific and find them kind of comforting because that's not us.
I wonder how unique that is, but I do think that there's an element of truth to that. So there's a lot of different ways that movie can be comforting. And it's a little bit tongue in cheek because I feel like I have to answer your question, and it may not be Boogie Nights itself as much as it is any film that's of a high quality with complex characters who have their own complex stories in addition to complex relations with one another.
I don't think this would be a difficult task for me, sitting with a single movie for 24 hours, but I'm going to advance what you're saying by adding that it would probably be a complex drama and not something happy-crappy or even a comedy. You run too much of a risk. I am incapable of watching comedies sometimes in confined spaces on airplanes where you think that would be great. We talked about airplane movies. It would have to be something engaging and dramatic and maybe even dark to sustain my interest, because otherwise I would go stir crazy. Boogie Nights is an excellent one, and I will leave it then. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay, thanks, love you, bye.
Hello, folks. Earl Breon here, host of the Responsible Leadership Podcast, part of the Best Business Network on Electricast. You're looking for a show to bring you some of the best leadership advice from some of the top thought leaders around the globe. This is the show for you. You can find us on all the podcast platforms of choice or on social media by following me, Earl Breon, Breon.
Electricast.